8 GB of RAM, where the iPhone 14 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you guys can see. So let's get into it. Let's do phone calls. Sorry, it looks kind of weird in the camera. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, kind of the same thing. Camera 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Let's go and take a photo. And let's go and open up that photo. Very, very fast on both, so not really that big of a difference. Let's do App Stores 3, 2, 1. And very, very fast on both. A little bit of a different setup on both, obviously, as well. But scrolling through, let's see if there's a difference. And I will say, even though the Pixel 6 has a 90 Hz panel, the iPhone 14 seems like a smoother phone when it comes down to it. I'm kind of maneuvering through like the whole entire OS like this. Both look very smooth, so not really that big of a difference here. As always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and get into. Let's go and open it up. Let's go do Twitter 3, 2, 1. Okay, already have a pop-up on there. Two different things, so we'll just kind of let that one slide. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. This is a little bit of a bigger game, so it has a long load time, if you will. And honestly, it does kind of look like the Pixel 6 is loading this one up a little bit faster. Like I said, this is the Tensor chipset, so it's a very good chipset. Weirdly enough, this phone is kind of not old, but it's been aged up a little bit. Snapchat 321, but you have to remember this one has the same chipset as the iPhone 13, so it pretty much has a year-old chipset as at this point too. Snake first blocks 3, 2, 1. iPhone 14 slightly faster, but it was very, very close. Let's go and get into thank you 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 6 was very, very fast there. I don't know if that's because the Android app was more optimized or something, but that was a very, very fast difference for sure. We can try something like Instagram, which I don't even know if I have on this phone, which is very, very strange. We try Stack 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 6, I think, was slightly faster, but we did get to it, add in there, so kind of a difference. And let's go and open up Genshin Impact 3, 2, 1. Now, I will say from my gaming experience on both these phones, they've been great. I think with the Pixel 6, it does a really good job at everything I've thrown in it. The iPhone 14, obviously the same chipset as last year, so it's still very good too. But these loading speeds is what's very interesting because the gameplay is very similar. You can give me a Pixel 4a, or you can give me an iPhone SE1, and it probably can still play the game the same. But here, the iPhone 14 definitely was far faster when loading up this specific game. So when it kind of comes down to at least opening up some of these initial games, there are a lot of similarities for sure. And I think the iPhone 14 is probably the faster one when it comes down to it. But I think the Pixel 6 still did a really good job. Like, this is not a very old phone anymore. It's not an old device. But the thing that also is surprising is that the Pixel 6 is much cheaper than the iPhone 14. So it handled it for, comparatively. I wouldn't really pick up one phone over the other because of the performance. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there.